Welcome back to the Big Green Shop. The first problem I decided to tackle was the RV's wiring. The windshield wipers and the instruments don't always work. And there's a major problem with the running lights and the turn signals. They're so dim that you can barely see them at night. I found this out on the drive home. I was making a lane change while towing a trailer, and I almost took out a driver who tried to pass me at the wrong time. The lights are LEDs, so they should be plenty bright. The problem was with the fuse box under the front grille. It's exposed to the weather, and after 30 years it's in terrible shape. Wiggling the fuses will make things work, but only for a little while. I didn't want to have to redo the wiring, so I did my best to avoid the job. But there's some things that even Deoxit can't fix. I also looked for a new fuse box to replace this one, but I didn't have any luck. So I decided to make a replacement. The first thing to do is to cut out the old fuse box. If you find 2 or more wires with the same color, be sure to label them before you cut them. I forgot to do this and it almost wrecked me. Luckily, I was able to match up the cut ends and figure out which wire was which. Then get a pencil and paper and start tracing wires. This is a tedious process, but it's vital if you're going to have any chance of recreating the OEM fuse box. Don't bother with the multimeter. The fuse box is junk, so the only way to reliably trace the circuits is visually. As I traced wires, I would zip tie them out of the way so that I could tell what I'd already dealt with. I also used blue tape to cover the fuse holders and connectors that I had already mapped. As I made progress, this made the job easier, since I didn't find myself going over old ground by accident. When I was done, I had 4 wiring diagrams for the 4 circuits in the fuse box. One circuit is always on. Another is the accessory circuit. The third is only on when the key is in the on position. And the fourth was a 3-wire circuit that just provided a fuse for the instrument lights. I then turned the wiring diagrams into a physical diagram showing how I wanted the new fuse panel to be laid out. I cut out a piece of plastic backing that fit in the fuse box location, and I built on top of that. It made it easy to create something that was guaranteed to fit in the factory location. And then it was just a matter of cutting and crimping wires one at a time. This was supposed to be a fast-forward montage, but I managed to do all of the work out of frame of the camera, so I'm just going to skip ahead to the finished result. And here it is. I made one last-minute design change. I put the 2 fuse blocks up on spacers so that I could run the wires to them under them and then come in the left side, rather than trying to squeeze everything in on the right side. This makes for a cleaner result. The last step was just to install the panel in the RV. Here's the old panel. It was compact and fit pretty well in the space. The new one is larger, and there's still wires going everywhere, but you can kind of tell what everything does. The conduit on the left contains wires that feed up to the driver's control panel. The conduit on the right contains wires that feed to elsewhere on the RV. The important thing is that it works. I was able to drive all the way from Austin up to Hallett, Oklahoma and back, and I didn't have a single electrical problem. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for watching.